Hello and welcome to Carrie Creates Cards. Today I'm going to be working on one of the backgrounds that I previously made with the Brushos, and I'm going to be using the beautiful Lavinia stamps. I hope you enjoy watching. Please like and subscribe. Today I'm going to be using one of the beautiful Brusho backgrounds that I created last week, and I'm going to use some beautiful Lavinia stamps in order to create my card. So I'm going to bring in my stamping platform and I'm just going to pop my cardstock there into the corner, and I'm going to use this little, it's called the Fairy House stamp by Lavinia. I'm going to pop that down, I think just about there. Pick it up. So I'll be using my Versafine Clair, and I'm using Twilight, which is the deep navy colour, and I'm going to ink that up. Just give it a few moments for the ink to transfer. And check that out. Looks beautiful. And I think I'm going to come in there with some Versamark and some embossing powder just to get a deeper black. I used the navy, but I'm going to come in and use some black embossing powder on that to make the image stand out a bit more, because the background has such deep rich colours in it. I think that probably would be the best way to go. So I'm just going to use the anti-static powder there on that, and I'm going to come in with my Versamark. And I'm going to ink that up again with the Versamark. Now I could have gone ahead and just put the embossing powder down on it, but I just want to be sure So we'll come and we'll stamp that down now again. Hopefully make it nice and wet. And yeah, that will be better. I'm going to remove that from the stamping platform, and I'm going to come in and use this piece of paper in order to collect my embossing powder. So it's Papermania in black. That looks very good. So we're going to just pop that back into the little jar so that we can reuse it. Just put the lid back on that. Come back in with our image. So I'm going to heat up my heat gun now, and I'm going to come back in and I'm going to heat that up. So I'm just going to come in now with the heat gun. I've left it heat for a few minutes. And you'll see the embossed image popping out now. Just give it a rub on the back because it can warp a bit from the heat gun. So as you can see the difference that has made. It's really beautiful. So I'm going to come in and just create a bit of background using this card and my inks. So I'll choose the Seedless Preserves, the Distress Oxide. I'll just ink up my brush. And I'm just going to come in at the bottom of the house there to sort of create a grounding. Just ink that up again and add another bit in there. Gives it a kind of a layered effect, as though you've got some hills going on. And I just want to pop a bit more there at the base of the little house. So yeah, quite pleased with that. This is kind of giving it a nice effect here. But I would like to come in maybe behind the house, the background, and give it a bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if I can cover over the little image with something to protect it. I'm just going to tear a piece of this cardstock around. I know it won't be perfect, but it should create a nice effect and it will protect the image a bit. So just about there, and then I can come back in my background. And the next one, I'd like to maybe change up the shape of this a bit. So I'm just going to take this and create a different shape again. Just protecting my little image. So fingers crossed. And what I'm going to do is just come back in here and sort of fill that in. Maybe a slight bit more in there. And the same again in between the two little houses, the two little peaks, I should say. You see, there's nothing you can't do with a bit of imagination. There we go. Just looks like with a couple of hills behind. Let's do the same there. Yeah, I'm happy with that now. So next thing I'm going to do, well, I'm going to wipe down my work area. So I've just come back in with my stamping platform and I'm going to wipe down and remove the little fairy house. Pop my card back down there and I'm going to work. on the edges. So I'm coming in here with this. It's the Fairy Bonnet set, another beautiful one by Lavinia. And sorry, a bit out of focus there. I'm going to pop them down where I want them. Just pop that one maybe there. Pick them up. Okay. There, actually. Put them down a bit and see where that will go. So I'm going to ink them up with a bit of the Twilight. It's perfect. Give them a wipe off so that I can replace them where I want them. This one up here. And I'm not going to be able to do that. Sorry, I'm going to have to turn this in order to get it where I want it. Just another quick wipe off and place them down again. Maybe that one there. And I quite like that. I think I'll just leave that as is. So quick wipe off and just remove them. So the next thing I'm going to use is this it's actually an Irish blessing stamp and it's by Magenta, and I put it onto a little clear acrylic block, and I'm going to use that to do just a few bits around the edges. So I want to come in again with a different colour there. So let's see with Shady Lane, or maybe the Rainforest might be nice actually for that. So I'm just going to ink that stamp up. It's a different stamp, this one now. It's a rubber stamp. It's a very nice one. I've had it for years and years. So I'm just going to come in and go around the edges here. Just lay down some ink. pick that up again. So just press down good and hard. Don't move it, and then just lift it up. As you can see, it's really nice. So I'm just going to do that where I want it around the edges. Just a bit on the bottom there. So it's beginning to come together. So lastly, I'm going to come back in with the Monarch, and I just want to do the edges, just to frame the picture and to draw your eyes in towards the centre. So I'm just going to start here in the corner. Just like the effect that this gives. I think it finishes the picture off nicely, always. Not to worry, that's that multimedia cardstock. It's quite soft, but I can stick it down well onto the card base anyway. So I think that's about it, just to mount it onto the card base. First of all, I'm going to give my mat a wipe down. And as always, I usually come in with the hand sanitizer gel on a cloth. I find it's fantastic for cleaning everything up. So that's that. So this is my card base. And what I've done is I've cut out a black layer to go on there, and then I'm going to pop this on over that again. So I'll be back to you in a few moments when I have that done. So this is the finished card. I adhered it to the back really well to prevent any warping, and I wiped over the embossed image also, just to get rid of any ink that may have accumulated on there. So I'm very pleased with it. I hope you've enjoyed watching. If you have, please like and subscribe. And as always, thank you so much.